Okay, thanks. Welcome everybody to the QBS Update webcast. Maybe you're all familiar with me, but my name is Wim van Voorthuizen. I'm the PTS and product specialist for Business Central at QBS Group. Today I want to cover the following topics. Someone is interrupting with my screen, but
yeah, so if you want to share your screen once again, yeah, okay, this has been solved. So if you could share your screen once again, then it would be fine. Please, people, do not touch any share buttons or present buttons. So thank you so much.
is my screen back?
Yes, we can see you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks. I want to cover the following topics. For example, we would like to start with the MPN status. There are some changes, so it would be more difficult to attain or maintain your gold or silver status, but I would like to share some information around that. And then a very important one, which is urgent. It's around some browser updates which are coming early this year, especially next month. So in February, for example, Microsoft Edge and Google Chrome will update their handling of cookies, and that has some big impact on the availability of your NAV or Business Central environment, but I would like to guide you through that later on. I would like to cover a webcast around how to align your app with all the updates of Business Central, for example. The Q&A, we at our operations department, of course, gather all the questions from you as a partner, and we answer them normally, but we also collect them and we update our Q&A document, and we would like to share the latest version of that with you. And then I would like to raise some attention for the extension analyzer, which is a tool of One Click Factory, one of our companies. And then I would like to guide you through some new features for Business Central for January, February, and March. Some other news regarding Dynamics 365, especially Business Central. The release wave 1 plan, so the April release of Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform. And I would like to close with a reminder regarding the Microsoft Partner Agreement, which has a deadline of this month. And like Sander already told us, we would like to finish with a slot for the ISV, where Volker will guide you through the Dime.Scheduler, all around graphical resource planning, I suppose. Let's start. Microsoft is changing the measurements of being a, for example, MPN Cloud Business Application partner, rewarded with the competency. So starting October 1st this year, they will measure in a new way. And that's mainly for Dynamics 365 customer engagements and finance and operations. So there's no specific information yet available regarding Business Central. And this month there will be an MPN guide including more detailed information. And once this become available, we would like to share that, of course, with you through our known channels like the Partner Portal and Jammer. So who is affected? Especially partners with a current cloud business application competency with an anniversary date after October 1st. They need some new amount of points to maintain their status, and I come back to the points later on. Partners who are actively working towards attaining a cloud business application competency, silver or gold, and who are planning to attain the competency after October 1st, they also need to have the new measurement points. And of course, if your anniversary date is before October 1st of 2020, the current rules are applied to you. Then number 3, partners with a cloud CRM competency is a little bit different, because after October 1st last year, it was no longer possible to renew or attain the CRM competency. So if you would like to demonstrate your competency on Dynamics 365 customer engagement, for example, you need to do the cloud business application, because customer engagement is now part of that competency. So for then number 2 is applied for you. So you have to gather 60 to 79 points for your silver status or 80 plus for the gold status. But once again, I will come back to that later. Partners with an ERP competency working towards the cloud business application competency, for example, because F&O is no longer part of the ERP competency, also need to have their new points. So basically, if you would like to have the cloud business application competency with a anniversary date or a planned attaining date after October 1st this year, you need to have a certain number of points. And Microsoft has introduced the partner contribution indicators on 3 areas, which are performance, capability, and customer success. And here you see the 7 indicators with the maximum amount of points you are able to get on that specific part. And then the total number of points will guide you through. If it's below 60, of course, no competency at all. And between 60 and 79, you get the silver status, and above 80, you get the gold status. And we're not diving in too much detail on each of the 7 indicators, because that would take way too much time. But of course, we are sharing the information with you, also with the detailed information. But it's good to know that, for example, one of the 7 indicators is net new revenue. So that's net new revenue across all sales channels for Microsoft Dynamics 365 products. But it's very important to know that on all sales channels, Microsoft has declared, in this picture you see here, all sales channels that includes enterprise agreement, CSP, and web direct. So no DPO anymore. So the net revenue indicator should be is heavily affected by your revenue if that's gathered via DPO, for example. So from now on, October 1st, 2020, and they are looking back also. So mainly this time, the past 12 months, they are looking at your CSP revenue. Just one example about how Microsoft is measuring your competency. And the overall conclusion could be that it's way more difficult to attain or maintain your status. So we are sharing all the detailed information with you, but it's good to know that it's changed, and it's changed a lot. So if you're if you need any help, of course we are there to help you. So please contact us. But it's good to know that we are sharing the information with you with sharing this presentation, and also a detailed guide will be available on Jammer and the partner portal. But if you need any specific help, please reach out to us, of course. Then some other important news. The web is constantly evolving, and like I said in the introduction, they are improving the user experience, security, and privacy stuff. And in the upcoming releases of some browsers, for example, Microsoft Edge and Google Chrome, they are changing the way how cookies are handled. And that affects federated authentication flows. And I will not go in any more technical details. But what that basically means is that it can affect the user's ability to connect to Business Central or Dynamics NAV in a few situations. For example, using the Outlook add-in, or if you're using Business Central Share or NAV as a SharePoint app, or if it's embed as an iframe. But also, very important, it's also applicable to you regarding the latest information if you're using Business Central or NAV in combination with Azure Active Directory, which means that you need to be on the latest cumulative update of your platform where you're on before February 2020. So you basically have 1 month to upgrade your solution, so your NAV or Business Central platform, to one of the latest CU updates. And this has big impact. So therefore, we are sharing this with you. It's very important. Microsoft said, okay, you have to be on a specific cumulative update. And we will share the link with you where all the CU numbers are named for all the NAV versions of 2015 and up. So please have a look, because it also affects users not using a browser but using the Windows client in combination with Azure Active Directory, for example. So please have a look. NAV 2015 and up should be on a certain cumulative update named in the link which is shared with you after this call, and that should be completed before February to be sure that there will be no hiccups for your users to connect to your systems. It's on a very short term. Microsoft has announced it during the Christmas holidays. So therefore we are sharing it with you in this call. And if you need any more help or you have some questions, please reach out. But first, we would like to share the information with you after this call. So check this. Then something different. I want to raise your attention for a webinar which is hosted on January 16th. By Directions for Partners, so the new name of Directions EMEA, for example, and it's presented by some technical guys of Microsoft, and there you get the latest updates on the app source process and learn how to use the tools and processes available, making sure that your app, if your app is on app source, is always aligned with the latest version of Dynamics 365 Business Central, because that's of course, it's a tough task because they're evolving and updating very fast. But yeah, they're going to do a webinar on that to help you out with that. So register for that webinar if it's applicable for you. Next up is the Business Central Q&A. Like I said earlier, we of course answer all the questions which are shared with us at the operations department, and we collect them and create a summary of them, and we would like to share the latest version of that. And it basically covers all questions regarding licensing, transition to Business Central, users, pricing, CFMD, and many more. And it's available in the partner portal, and a direct link is shared within this presentation. Next up, I would like to raise some attention to the CAL2 Extension Analyzer, which is a tool of our company One Click Factory. And with this tool, you can achieve that in just 1 day. This tool can help you to scope realistically and therefore successfully transition customers to an extension. Of course, reduce the costs and reduce the risks. And of course, it make sure that you're not doing or necessarily have to do some manually tasks over and over again. What does this mean? You're able to use this tool for free. Just submit a NAV 2013 R2 or later solution in the portal, and within 24 hours you get a free report to so you're able to see, okay, what's the complexity of the solution, how should we scope the transition project, and there's also an estimation on the costs of the transition from CAL to extension. In the link, you will be directed to the portal of One Click Factory, where you're able to upload your solution, and then within 24 hours for free you get a report on that. So a great free first introduction if you're researching your current solution on how to convert it into an extension. Then I would like to guide you through some new functionality for Business Central, which is released or will be released in the near future. First of all is that you're now able to bookmark reports. Within Business Central, we were now familiar that we're able to bookmark certain lists, for example, to your role center. That's now also available for reports. And with that, you're able to link to that report in your navigation menu. And you're also able to personalize the place where it's on your role center. And therefore, I would like to demo it very briefly with you. So to bookmark a link to a report, for example, if you're searching for an employee report, and in the Tell Me window, we can select the bookmark icon to bookmark employee lists and employee unions, for example. And when you're going back to your role center, you're seeing those reports right on your role center. You can launch that report directly. And you're also able, when you're personalizing your role center, for example, to place that report in one of the menus. So you're able to quickly launch a report right from your role center. Next up is the addition of some new fonts to Business Central, and not the normal fonts we're used to, but the special fonts for printing checks, where you would like to add, for example, some anti-fraud protection or security, or you're heavily relying on using security fonts. That's will be available in a small update in March. So not the Business Central 16 release, but it will be a small update in the 15 release, so in the wave 2 of 2019. And then you're able to print checks. And of course, it's not applicable to all countries where it's heavily used. But for example, in the UK, it's still familiar. Next up is the addition of the your reference field and the external document number on sales documents. It's heavily requested by customers in the field. And now Microsoft is finally adding it to Business Central. And this month it will be available to use these fields and actually share them on the documents on sales quotes, invoices, credit memos, and reports. And one question raised already is, okay, what about, for example, the reminders? There's no information on that yet, because it makes sense that if you're able to use your reference number on your invoices, that it should also appear on the reminders if you're sending them to your customers, for example. Then a more technical addition to Business Central. Microsoft is going to launch some new events next month, and you're able to use those events to create some extensions that will support the cloud printing providers. And you're also able to define things like the duplex, the number of copies, color, black or white, and whatever. And then using the document print ready event, for example, you are now able to react on that report, and you're able to send those print tasks to a actual printer in your office. So with this event and a use of a, let's call it a small workaround, you're able to print directly from Business Central SaaS, which is not possible until today. So a great functionality feature for Business Central SaaS. We have received several questions around batch posting, so therefore I decided to make it part of this webinar. Within Business Central version 15, so the latest major release, you're forced to use job queues for batch posting, sales orders, purchase orders, or whatever. So yeah, you need to do that via the job queues. And please be sure to use job queue category codes for that, because if you're not using those category codes, this could lead to blocking tables. And if you're using those category codes, it will be used by the code, and then the job queue task will go one by one, so that won't lead to blocking tables. And then just as a small recap, if you're then, for example, are going to perform batch posting on purchase orders, you select the multiple purchase order, choose the post batch functionality, and then you're able to view the potential issues that occurred during the posting. And then you're, of course, could take some action. And then the selected purchase orders are then added to a specific dedicated job queue to post them later on. And if you had check mark the option to print PDFs, for example, they will appear in your report inbox after the job queue has been finished. Next up, coming soon, all languages for Business Central will be provided as apps. And that means that you can run Business Central SaaS in whatever language, as long as it's one of the languages supported in the countries where Business Central is available. And that also includes the countries where there's not an official Microsoft localization, but a partner localization. So from that moment on, for example, in the Netherlands, you could choose between English and Dutch. And from that moment on, you're able to download an additional language in AppSource. And you are able to use Business Central in any platform supported language. A question raised already. How about localized features? For example, I'm able to download the French language pack, but is some typical Dutch functionality translated into French? Maybe they have created this feature only for the, so let's call it W1 functionality, or maybe they're going to use some Azure Cognitive Services to translate those specific Dutch functionality to French. We have to see where Microsoft's coming up with. But at least it's good to know that all languages will become available as an app in Business Central SaaS. Last webinar, or the webinar before that, we get some questions about demoing Business Central in a tenant. And we would like to come back on that with a few suggestions, because you have some different options to demo Business Central to your prospects. Of course, if you're heavily relying on, for example, your own customizations, it would make sense to do it on-prem with your customizations in your own environment, or a dedicated environment based on an image on Docker. That's very obvious. But if you're just in a situation where you would like to demo the out-of-the-box Business Central experience to one of your prospects, you have some options. For example, it's possible that a prospect is requesting a free trial on its own. That's suggested for the situations where just for easy look around within Business Central. If you as a partner would like to have more control, or to pre-configure some features or functionality within Business Central, it's heavily suggested that you are requesting the free trial, but not through the Microsoft website. But please use the website cdx.transform.microsoft.com, which has replaced the old demos.microsoft.com. And there's a portal where you're able to fire up some, for example, Office 365 demo environments. And then you're able to also include some additional content packs. For example, it's possible to launch an Office 365 environment, a trial environment, with a trial of Business Central. Those demo tenants will stay there for 1 year at maximum. And also it includes the option to extend the trial period of Business Central, because normally that's 30 days. And it's possible to extend that to 90 days. And after even the 90 days has expired, within this demo tenant for 1 year, the Cronus demo company is always available. So these are the suggestions on how to create a demo tenant for the specific situation for you. And also good to know that it's possible to download the PPT, which is a massive PPT presentation of 1 GB, which includes a lot of click-through scenarios for Business Central. It's also available on the website cdx.transform.microsoft.com, just so you know. Then the 2020 release wave 1 plan. This month, the release plans for Business Central, customer engagement, the Power Platform will become available. This means that later this month we are able to learn about the new upcoming capabilities for the different Dynamics 365 suites and also the Power Platform. On February 3rd, you're able to get the early access. So then you're able as a partner to try the new features and capabilities. So you're familiar with them before they will become available as a general availability on April 1st this year. Of course, after the release of the Wave 1 plans of 2020 for the different Dynamics 365 products and the Power Platform, in the next webcast of February, of course, we will cover a lot of the new announced features and capabilities of both Business Central, customer engagement, and also the Power Platform. So expect that the update webcast for February will cover a lot of different Dynamics 365 products, and all which will cover the new features and capabilities. Then I would like to end my part with a reminder, because we have already informed you over and over again, but just to be sure that it's communicated to all of you. Once again, the deadline of January 31 this year, Microsoft will replace all current contracts with the new Microsoft Partner Agreements. And CSP is the first channel where that will be required. So all CSP resellers need to have a Partner Center account and accept the new MPA. If the Microsoft Partner Agreement is not accepted before the end of this month, you are not able to do new orders. So you're not able to place new orders if the MPA is not signed on time. So your to-do, if you have a Partner Center account, and of course, if it's applicable for you as a CSP reseller, if you are a CSP reseller, if you have a Partner Center account or multiple, because we've already seen some partners with which had multiple accounts, please check the MPA and let it be accepted by the global admin of your Partner Center before the end of next month. If you don't have a Partner Center account, create one. And then the signing of the MPA or accepting of the MPA is part of the onboarding process already. If you need any help, please see our QBS CSP operation guide, especially section 1 and 2, where we have added some guidance on how to create a Partner Center account. If that's not enough and you still need some help, please reach out to our Partner Success Operations department. But once again, please be sure that your MPA has been signed this month. Otherwise, we will get a lot of stress early next month of customers placing new orders for you as a partner, but you're not able to place them in the portal. So please be sure to accept the MPA before the end of this month. And with that, I would like to thank you for the attention for the Dynamics update. And then I would like to hand it over to Sander, which will hand it over to the ISV of Dime.
Yes, thank you so
Thanks
much.
for now.
Thank you. Will you share your screen, Volker? Let's see if I need to give you any.
Yes.
I'll let you know when we see.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, we have a visual on you.
Okay.
Volker, before you start, I have one well, not some more an urgent question, but I have a question regarding to all the links in the presentations. Thank you, John, for raising this question. Yes, all the links which is shared in these PowerPoints will be shared separately in the thank you email, so you will get all the URLs ready in the email. So thank you for your question, John, and hope this is helpful. Volker, yes, please.
Take over.
Please take over, yeah.
Thank you. Yes, so welcome to everybody from my side. My name is Volker Schmieder. I'm the sales director for the German part, the German-speaking part of Dime, the company Dime. And I support the partners in Austria, Switzerland, and Germany. Today, I want to show you some information to Dime.Scheduler, but first, I want to give you some information with Dime. Dime is an ISV, but we are strictly delivering to our certified partner network worldwide, and we don't sell anything directly. I think it's important for our partners. We are specialized in development and distribution of add-on solutions for ERP, CRM, and line of business applications. The main focus in this case is Microsoft Dynamics NAV or Business Central, and the reason for this is most of our employees have a long history of Microsoft Dynamics NAV, and therefore we want to bring our experience in this specific business. Our headquarters is located in Belgium, and we have more than 100 partners worldwide which are working with our products. What is the Dime.Scheduler itself? Dime.Scheduler is easy. It's a graphical planning solution running on any browser, and we are not creating only a graphical planning solution. We're also taking care on our value-added reseller, and therefore we are taking care on easy to integrate with vertical and custom solutions.
Volker, I'm afraid you are offline. Is it possible that you can copy or reply? Please let us know. William, meanwhile, we have, yes, indeed, we have lost sound. We have already received some questions. William, do you already have the time to reply on the questions which we have received from your session?
I see a question. Yeah, I see a question from Björn. Do you know if Microsoft has any plans of extending the localization of demo data for specific countries instead of only changing the name of the city and so on, but not giving us local chart of accounts or etc.? No, And honestly, I think you shouldn't expect any work of Microsoft on that side, because they're just sharing a W1 version of Cronus with some very small changes for the countries regarding the addresses of the customers in the demo data, but don't expect local chart of accounts in your demo environments.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Volker. Thank you so much.
Well, sorry for that. We had a technical issue here. I don't know why, but we had a technical issue. I'm back now. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Important thing is that
Okay.
that you're on track and we can hear you, and you can continue with your presentation again. And Wim, thanks so much for replying on this question. So much appreciated. Thank you so much. Good luck, Volker.
Oh, thank you. Sorry for that. I go back to the Dime.Scheduler itself. The product is easy to integrate with vertical and custom solution. I think that's an important issue for the value-added reseller. And we deliver our solution with the framework for fast solution development. And this framework requires only knowledge of CL and AL. And that's the language you already know. And there's nothing what you have to learn on top of this. The product is available for all NIV deployments and Business Central on-premise. And we also deliver a fast-track wizard solution, which makes it easy for you to implement and to set up the whole product. Sometimes you have a pre-sale situation where you want to specify some information in the planning solution for example, for field service, and then you can use the fast-track wizard, and in a few seconds or few minutes you have set it up all the environment for this product. And why do your customer need planning? I would say every customer needs to plan tasks and resources. If we do something, we have resources which are doing this, and then we know exactly what we have to do. And if you organize this or if you manage this in your company, then you have to plan this. And that's what I mean. Every customer needs to plan tasks and resources. Maybe they do it in very different ways. They are using an Excel sheet, they are using Outlook, they are using whatever. But it is an interesting point of view to have all these planning things on one place. And it is very complex to take planning decisions from inside Microsoft Dynamics NIV BC. The product itself, it's very powerful. You can use filter, you can create reports, many things. But if you want to see a graphical overview, that's a little bit of a lack in Microsoft Dynamics NIV BC. And therefore, we created this product where we try to get this graphical overview for the planning process. What we do is we create a picture, and you know this speech, a picture says more than 1,000 words, and that's what we do. We create the whole planning process as a picture, and planner told me they know exactly where they have a very high workload in the timeline, because they have it as a picture in their head. Customer needs a fast and specific view on tailored data. That's a dashboard. And normally every user inside the customer has a different point of view of the data. And therefore the planning board should be that flexible to create for each user different planning boards with maybe map functionality, capacity overviews, plan task list, or Gantt chart diagram if you want to handle projects in a professional way. And Dime.Scheduler can do all this and is doing this on a central place for all the planning information for the whole company. Key features, yeah, it's only a few of them. I could add maybe 5 times of this list points, but I think that's maybe the most important things. With Dime.Scheduler, you can plan, or anything can be a task or a resource. And that's what we do. We have a task and we have resources which have to do this task. And the task can be, for example, a service order, can also be a project, sales order, rental order. If you have your own vertical rental solution, for example, then you can also use a rental order or production order or absence registration. All this can be a task, and resources can be work center, people, resources, resource table, resources, machines, cars, whatever. We do a real-time bidirectional synchronization with your backend systems. And normally for the planning, we are using drag and drop. We take the task and bring the task to the resource which has to do this in the right time and the right day. In this scenario, we are using smart resource filtering. It means if you click on a specific task, then it will filter out the resources which are able to do this task. For example, if you have a task and you need an electrician, then you have, for example, in the service item line, some information about the skill, what you need, and then we can filter out the resources which are able to do this job. And that makes it easy for the planner to find the right resources in a very easy and quick way. For example, you have 1,000 resources and only 20 electricians, then it's wasted time if you see all the resources. You need only the electricians to do the job, and therefore if you click the task, it will filter out the skill for the electricians. You can also use other filter. They are not limited. You can use, for example, regions, service zones, whatever. You can also use the dimensions to filter out resources for your own ideas. For the project planning, we have added a Gantt chart where you can create milestones, deadlines, dependencies, or constraints. It's a very powerful tool. And then if you have finished your project planning, because dependencies and also constraints are normally not in NIV available, you can do it in the Gantt chart diagram. And you can also connect 2 or more projects together. It means one task can start if other task from another project has finished. You can bring this together and you can manage many different projects in our Gantt chart module. We have unlimited planning boards. Why do we need this? You can filter out information and you can create for different scenarios, different planning boards. For example, you have a planning board for the north for separate areas, and for the south, whatever. That's what you can do with this functionality. There's also a geo-mapping integrated where you can see a travel time and distance calculation. You see if you have two jobs to do, how long does it take from one to another place, and the planner can take care on this travel time, for example. I don't go in all the details here. I think there's another point. Let me mark this. That's not possible. Multi-backend and multi-company support is one point what I think that's very important. It's not only possible to plan in one company, in one NIV environment, for example. No, for example, your customer has 3 or 5 subsidiaries, then you can connect to all the subsidiaries and you can do the planning on one planning board over all the 3 or 5 companies. And it doesn't matter if you have in one subsidiary NIV BC installed, in another one NIV 2009 R2. We are working with all of these different versions together, and you can share all the information on one planning board. The last point is also a very important point. You can create appointments and resources in Dime.Scheduler itself. It means this, for example, resources are not connected to NIV. And in some cases, it's interesting because you don't want to create a meeting room, but sometimes you want to use the planning board also to create your trainings for the people. They normally are working the field service, and then you can block the meeting room for a meeting for all the people, and you can set up a training, and the training should also not go back to NAV, and therefore you can create appointments and resources inside Dime.Scheduler itself. For the industries, like for the customers, you can use it normally for every industry. Sure, some industries are not planning that much or not planning that specific. They can do it maybe really on a piece of paper. But on the list, you can see industries where I know that's the industries we have many installation installed or our partner has installed. And you see a very strange installation is in the harbor services. In the harbor services, the ships are the order or the task, and the keys are the resources. And it makes sense because the ship maybe is an oil tanker, they will go to the oil harbor and not to the container port or to the container key. And therefore you can see you can use it for very different scenarios. Okay. Now I will give you a short introduction to the product itself, because the other things is it's not colorful like the product itself. You see it's working in it's using the browser. It's in the browser. On the left-hand side, you see service orders, for example, are coming in. And normally we are using drag and drop and put this on the planning board. If I click on the right mouse click, I can open the service order in NIV. I use a classic client here. Doesn't matter. I can also use a web client. Go to the resource allocation and see immediately, without any updates, it's on the 13th of January, 4 hours. If I make this a little bit bigger, like this, and go back to my screen and refresh the screen, you see it's updated immediately. But it's not only the way from Dime.Scheduler back to NIV, I can also do the other way around. I go to this, and you see this gray stripe, that's the repair status. And maybe you have a mobile solution, and the repair status is changed when the person starts to work with a mobile device, and then they will change this in process. And if I update this field, it will change the color here, and you see it's finished. Then it will become red, and we can set up a filter behind this. And for example, if it is finished, it's no longer possible to move this to another date or to make it longer or whatever. That's something we can set up directly here. Then I showed you something with the map. I selected 2 of the service orders, and you see it will calculate the route, and it will show you it's 5 kilometers, and it takes 11 minutes to come from one place to another one. We also have some online information like traffic information, what we can use for we can see. Okay, we are normally planning, we are looking in the future, and we don't know the traffic in the future, but we see maybe some road work, and then the planner can decide what's going on there. That's one idea. It's very easy to modify. You see, I can take one of the controls, put it to another place. I take the calendar, put it this place. It's very easy to modify. If I press F5, it is going back to the standard profile, and it shows me my profile. It means customer can also temporarily change some information, but the customer can also create own profiles. And I want to open another one. We have this project profile here, for example, and then we see the project. You see other color, other controls here. That's the Gantt chart diagram. We can load the project. We have a project from NIV, and we see how it looks like. That's a Gantt chart diagram. You see dependencies here. If we move one of these appointments in the future, all the other appointments which are connected to them will also move in the future. I don't want to go more in detail because it's only 15 minutes. Therefore, we go forward to the next point. What do we offer to you as a value-added reseller? We offer you an open and flexible graphical planning solution for Microsoft Dynamics NIV BC or CRM. It's also working with Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Dime.Scheduler is tailored for value-added reseller. It is easy to set up and to modify. You are able to create your own additional functionality or logic in CLRL. We deliver some code units, standard code units with our solution, but you can modify this and you can use our principles in your own solution. We have this fast track wizard which can reduce the installation or setup time to 50%, and we have predefined fields in different formats where you can add your information from your NIV, and you bring this information to the planning board to make it possible for the planner to make decisions. We offer you training, high-level support. Normally you have an answer in 1 or 2 hours in our support. All the people are included in the support, also salespeople. They have to know what's going on there. And you will get a discount for the license and for the annual enhancement plan, for the yearly fee. And you will get a full Dime.Scheduler license for training, development, and pre-sales. We have more tools. We also have Hyper-V environments. You don't have to install all this every time. We do this for you, and you can use it. We try to make it easy, and we try really to have a contact to our partners to help them to do this business. Okay, I want to say to you, join us in our next webinar in February, on the 6th of February, where we do a real presentation of the graphical sourcing and project planning with Dime.Scheduler. It's Tom Tuffin will do it. It's our head of the development, and he can show you a lot of details, but then it takes a little bit longer than 15 minutes. Okay, that was my short presentation in 15 minutes.
Thank you so much, Volker, and I think it's a very great story. Let's see if there are any questions coming up. Yeah, one question: the webinar on the 6th of February. Where is it possible to sign up? Do you have a URL which you can share later on? That would be very helpful.
I think it's a webinar from QBS. And it's on the QBS portal. It's not a webinar from our side. We are using this QBS.
Very good, very good. Then I will include it in the thank you email as well, so
yes,
people can indeed sign up via that URL. So that will be terrific. Let's see if there are any other questions. Great presentation. Should be followed by many more Dynamics partners. Yes, very good, John. Thank you so much. No further questions, Volker. Well then. For me, I think yeah, we are very good in time. I want to thank you, William, and I want to thank you, Volker, for presenting your story. And to all participants, I want to see you all next month in our next webcast. Thank you so much, and until next month.
Yeah, thank you.